set in concrete. But to me, there is a possibility that this is a wake-up call to the church. In other words, maybe we become too complacent. Maybe we just take things for granted. Maybe we just kind of are lulled into a false sense of security. It happens. If things are going good all the time, sometimes we forget who we are and what we are aiming for, and that's heaven. We don't know if that's true or not. But you stop to think, as smart as this world is, with all the technology that has come to the surface in the past few years, it just boggles the mind what a computer can do and what a smartphone can do today. But just think about this. And then we look in the paper and television every day, and hundreds of thousands, yea, even millions of people are coming down with this virus. And hundreds of thousands are dying. It's been projected that possibly by March, that might be 500,000 just in the United States that have died from this plague. And this is an enemy that is so tiny, you have to see it in a microscope. I don't have any right to try to figure out what God's plans are. I just by faith believe that whatever's going to happen is going to be for the best. But one thing we need to realize, folks, and I think we all do, and especially us senior citizens and us who are getting at that age, we have to realize more and more that life is so brief. I think of James, of course. James, here in the 4th chapter, verse 14, that life is just like a vapor that appears for a short time and then it vanishes away. So we need to keep that in mind, and we need to keep in mind that we need to be in that right relationship with our Heavenly Father. Just like these ones that I mentioned, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and just like Joseph and Daniel, day in and day out, whatever life brings us, we need to be solid upon the rock. We need to be concentrating on what this book teaches us, because this is where we get our strength from. But we have to be doers of the word and not hearers only. Yes, we don't hear the word the same way that they did back in biblical times, because we have this book here, and James says that this is the perfect law of liberty. Perfect law of liberty. We find contained in this book that which is complete. Everything we need to know to make this journey. If we would embrace it, if we would read it, but if we would use what we learn in our daily lives. That's all we can do. And then leave it up to the grace of God. Consequently, that's our thoughts for this morning. And, it's been a custom and a tradition that every time that a lesson, a sermon is delivered from the pulpit, that what we call an invitation is extended. I know that probably 99 and 9/10 of everyone here of the age of Annabelle here are members of a large church. But if this congregation can help anyway in a spiritual way, we invite you to come as David leads us in the song. Will you please stand?
Number 860, 860, there is a habitation. There is a habitation built by the living God for all of every nation who seek that grand abode. O Zion, Zion, I long thy gates to see, O lovely Zion, Zion. thee, a city with foundations, firm as the eternal throne. No wars nor desolations shall ever move a stone. O Zion, Zion, I long thy gates to see. O Zion, Zion, when shall I dwell in thee? Within its pearly portals, angelic armies sing, with glorified immortals, the praises of its King. O Zion, Zion, I long thy gates to see, O lovely Zion.